Alright, let's start with this warm-up. It says classify the triangle by its angles and by its sides. So first we'll do angles and then the sides. So we see a right angle here, so it's a right triangle. All the sides are different, so it is scaling. The next one, this angle is bigger than 90, so it's obtuse. Two of the sides are the same, so it is isosceles. Find the value of x, so all you do is subtract from 180. 180 minus 65 minus 32, that'll give us 83. Okay, the next one, 180 minus 90 minus 42. That was 48 degrees. Alright, 4.3 is isosceles and equilateral triangles. The objective is to use properties of isosceles and equilateral triangles. Alright, isosceles triangle is a triangle that has at least two congruent sides. The legs are the congruent sides of an isosceles triangle. Base is the other side, and the base angles are the two angles at the base of the triangle. The two theorems about isosceles: if two sides of a triangle are congruent, then the angles opposite of them are congruent. So if these two are congruent, then we'll draw an arrow, the opposite angles are also congruent. Okay? Then the other way, if two angles of a triangle are congruent, then the opposite sides of them are congruent. So we could, if these two angles are congruent, we can draw an arrow to each of the opposite sides. These are also congruent. Alright, so we need to find the value of a variable here. So what we just talked about, if two angles are congruent, then the opposite sides are also congruent. So these two are congruent. So y is equal to 9. Okay. Next one, same thing. Well, it's kind of opposite. So if two sides are congruent, then the opposite angles are congruent. So x is equal to 60. Alright, two angles are congruent, the opposite sides are congruent. So y plus 4 is equal to 16. So we'll solve. Y is equal to 12. Alright, if two sides are congruent, opposite angles are congruent. So 5x plus 10 is equal to 75. Subtract 10 on each side. 5x is equal to 65. 5 by 5. X is equal to 12. No, 13. My bad. Alright, two sides are congruent. The opposite angles are congruent. So 3x plus 43 is equal to 6x plus 40. Subtract the 40. 3x plus 3 is equal to 6x. Minus 3x. 3 is equal to 3x divided by 3. X is equal to 1. Alright, we're going to skip this one. You just set them equal to each other. 4x plus 4 is equal to 32. Okay. If a triangle is equilateral, then it is equiangular. If a triangle is equiangular, then it is equilateral. So what that's saying is if a triangle is equilateral, so all the sides are the same, then it's also equiangular, so all the angles are the same. Then the converse of that is if a triangle is equiangular, then it also is equilateral. So we need to find the length of each side. Okay? So we could do 3x is equal to 2x plus 10. Because if all the angles are the same, all the sides are the same. Okay? So minus 2x. So x is equal to 10. Okay, so if x is equal to 10, then we can plug that in here. So 3 times 10 equals 30. So every side is 30. Okay, so we'll do this one. 7x minus 1 is equal to 6x plus 3. Add the 1. 7x is equal to 6x plus 4. Subtract the 6x. X is equal to 4. Alright, what did we learn today? So summarize here. Tell me what questions you have, and then a sample test question. Make sure you fill all of this in. Okay, look at the objective for what we learned. Tell me what questions you have, and then a sample test question. You could go back and look at your examples.